A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and fresh off the back of the iRacing special events of the 24 Hours of the Nurburgring, well, the Galebest and Clarkson James GT3 calendar reaches the Eifel region of Germany at the Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit. So, just under 5.1 kilometres, 619 metres above sea level, based in the city of Nuremberg, not Nuremberg. There are two completely different parts of Germany. But you join Alex Goldschmidt and Dean Biggles, qualifying just getting underway here for the halfway point of the championship season, which will see the series go to Spa, Daytona Road Course, Brands Hatch Grand Prix, and the full Fuji Speedway to conclude season number 7. All drivers will have 7 scores out of 8. But let's take you through the scores on the doors at the moment with a little bit of housekeeping. In the pro class, it is Michael Gray leading the way on 110 points. He's so far picked up 2 wins, 3 podiums, 3 pole positions. Matt Hoyland is second in the championship on 95 points. Harry Gaylor third on 91 with a win and 2 podiums. Jean McLuhan, Ben Altria, Harry Hartley-Price, the defending pro champion, rounds out the top 6 with Sam Berry, Stephen Donnelly, Andy White, Harry Seven, Tim Reed, Tim Cullingmore, Jordan Crawford, Connor Pink, Glenn Abelard, Joe Sparrow, Peter Duke, Rob McKee rounding out the top 18 with Jared Love, the outgoing AM champion from last season, and Nathan Healy rounding up the top 20. Then we go into AMS. It's James Moore leading on 114 points. So we've got a lot of things to cover at the moment. James Moore on 114 points. That's a big gap between him and Daniel Paulwood on 85 points. Christopher Haynes on 69 rounds out the top 3 with Tim and Mike Waters, the pair from Son of a Bro Racing, rounding up the top 5 on 62 and 56 points apiece. Joseph Lopez on 55 is in 6th place. He went from 10th to 6th after the last round at Monza. Callum Milam, Sean Clark, Sergio Cabral and Shane Wells ran out your top 10 in the AMS. We've got Paul West, Jay Rooney, Mark Wesley, Steve Trippier and Terry Atkinson rounding out the 15 strong. We do have one, how can I say it, discrepancy, but for the main reason that this particular driver has just been out in practice. Scott McFall, who's got an I rating of just shy of 6,400, may be the only non-class driver competing tonight. So AMS will be in the blue, pros will be in the yellow as qualifying is underway. We're currently riding on board with Sergio Cabral, the 07 BMW. So we're going to go down into what will be known as Dunlop. So hard on the brakes, turn the car in, camber to the right hand side as you turn the car right, and then start to go up the hill. We go on board inside the cockpit of the vehicle itself of James Moore, and he's going up the hill through what was the Schumacher S, is now known through the Shell, as the car will fire its way all the way underneath the Goodyear boarding there, through into RTL, and then pitch the car left, turn it right into Bidkurve, and then going to accelerate out of that corner and fling the car right through turn 12, now known as Atzenbach-Morgan, originally known as the Advan corner, 145 miles an hour, hard on the brakes, into the Vidal Chicana, and then it's going to be into what's known as Coca-Cola here at turn number 15. And James Moore, at the moment, who is currently leading the AM class, comes out of the final corner, puts the pedal to the metal. Is he going to go... where is he going to put the car at the moment? Well, that puts him at a 2 minutes .042. Peter Duke, first driver to hit the 157s, a 157.692, as the drivers make their way around this circuit, jockeying for a little bit of position. Good to see a few people watching at the moment, so if you are watching along, please don't forget to show your support for who you're cheering on in chat here tonight. The horse is already with us and has already said looking forward to it. Can't wait for another epic race tonight. Of course, it is going to be a 45 minutes race. It is going to be invoking a mandatory pit stop because Drivers are limited to 50% maximum fuel capacity. And there is Tim Cullimore briefly for a moment. Here we are on board with, well, funnily enough, with Tim Cullimore in the number 42 Mustang. Times are starting to come in at the moment. And Peter Duke is the fastest out there in the 177 Acura. So the Wookiees Wanderer, Sam Berry, there we go, gives up straight away his user ID. But with that in mind, with 9.5 minutes to go, Mr. Dean Biggles, good evening, or actually where you are, a very early morning, I should say.
Yes, it is. Good morning. Good morning to well, everybody in my neck of the woods there as Michael Gray goes a little bit faster in the very first sector. The horse out there, I thought he would just be saying nay. Not too early for a bad puns already coming thick and fast there.
Well,
we were just looking at the boss man putting his car. Is that an invalid? There it is. Current 16th.
Yeah. So Sean Clark from Clarkson James, of course, Galebest sponsoring. It's basically part of the firm that Harry Hartley Price is part of, the defending pro champion. But it is this man here, Michael Gray, in the C8 Corvette that has just gone across the line and has gone fastest to 1:57.463. So it's a 15-minute open qualifying session, which means that everyone is on track at roughly the same time as Andy White in the HB Racing Audi was in the Mustang last time around. He goes P5 and is 83 thousandths behind the Porsche doing Porsche things. Well, that wasn't until Tim Reed decided to put his BMW M4, the Scotsman, in the 155, puts it P4 on the grid at the moment. And there is... I think that was Paul West. Well, we're on board with Paul West. I think was that Connor Pink. I think running the good old McLaren Vodafone Mercedes livery, but Paul West has gone with the Monster Energy throwback. A lot of big old deep matte green on that McLaren 720S GT3 as it comes out of the final corner as we hit half time in this 15-minute qualifying session. Paul West comes across the line, 2:01.607, good enough to put him 21st on the grid. We still have got several drivers that have had laps invalidated as Paul West goes very deep into the Castrol S's. Wonderful front shot there of James Moore's Upshift Esports BMW as it makes its way through the Vidal Chicane in towards Coca-Cola Corner here at turn number 15. So Joe Sparrow, Harry Gaylor, Rob McKee and Mike Walters all have had laps invalidated so far. But hopefully, well, James Moore jumps up into 13th position. Good work there by the current AM class leader, who has a 29-point advantage coming into this round of the season. There is Sam Berry in the very pink and white Mustang GT3. Harry Gaylor in that instance goes up to P6 as a few of the drivers ending up going across the line. Rob McKee and Joe Sparrow. Joe Sparrow yet to set a lap time. Rob McKee has done so. That has put him 15th on the grid.
So
with 6 minutes to go here.
Yeah,
the good old, and it's one of the cars that has got the Haribo livery that
the
sported on a few Mercedes. Yeah,
isn't it? Yeah. Okay, that's European candy, I believe.
Yes, it's good stuff.
Does it make you go faster?
No, it doesn't. Helps if you need a sugar wake-up call, but yeah. Anything else? No. It does the job. But Joe Sparrow still has yet to set that elusive lap time. He's already had 3 laps disallowed. As bit of a moment there, going out of bit cover by James Moore. Sergio Cabral trying to make some moves up the order. Connor Pink just briefly went to for a moment. Then Mr. Fresh Rubber himself, Sam Berry, going through the Hudson-Bach-Morgan, and then hard on the brakes into the Vidal chicane. And this circuit here, Biggles, I mean, it's been around for, what, 4 decades, and it still has a very, very good... it's a very good circuit for racing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. One of those classic that's, deeply embedded itself into the heart of motor racing. And it's good to see it. Well, I'm surprised, actually, that we have drivers that actually... Well, probably some drivers would be saying, I'm sick of this track, really. If you're going the full Nordschleife after the event, of course, the iRacing 24-hour event. Some of these drivers may have participated in it. Let us know in the chat if you did, or you're supporting a team or anything like that. I'll see if I can get my levels increased a little bit as well. But, yeah, I was going to ask you, actually, there, Alex, because you've been around. Have you been to this track in person? I would imagine you have, probably.
I have actually been to the Nurburgring, but it wasn't on a race weekend.
Right.
I was doing a road trip. I think it was 2014. So I got on my wagon, got on the ferry, visited several circuits, so Zolder, Spa, and then I decided, well, let's see if I can make it to the Nurburgring before I had to go to my next destination. And then I got fleeced for a BMW Motorsport jacket, which was the official Puma at that point, who still are the official uniform suppliers. I think I paid a slight premium, but not too bad a premium. But I thought, well, I bought it from the Nordschleife. I bought it from the home of the Green Hell, so that's good enough for me. At least you know that you've bought something from there. And I took quite a few pictures. That was when Mercedes had brought out the Green Beast, which is the Mercedes AMG GT that we now know. Jared Love, who's come back, didn't take part in the first round at Sebring because he was on holiday having a Swifty beer or two whilst watching the broadcast. He's now up into 9th, and there's Connor Pink. Oh, he's got he's got Hammond Clarkson, mate. Yeah. Hammond.
Fantastic.
Or we
Peter
could go with a Clarkson, but we can't go with what James Wayne would normally say if something went completely a bit wrong.
Peter Duke might be able to steal this one away at the moment if he can shave 2/10 from Michael Gray's, who's on an outlap at the moment. He does.
He goes quicker.
All hail to the Duke.
The Duke of Acura.
Yes.
Not the Duke of Earl, if anyone might remember King Ralph with John Goodman. That was a very, very funny comedy film back in the day. But, yeah, really, really good lap there from Peter Duke.
You wonder if he likes Earl Grey for his tea at the moment, because he's got one over Michael Gray.
Right. Dave Morris in chat. Shout out to my brother Daniel Paul. Smash it, bro. That's a good way of encouraging people. Yeah, smash it. Just don't literally smash into people. It's
Daniel like
Paul.
In theatre, you say break a leg, but you don't say it in motorsports.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah, fingers. Yeah, it's like touch wood. You're banging on a table of some description. But we are coming towards the last minute and a half of this session here for the Galebest and Clark St James Tanso Racing Group GT3 Season 7. So, which has been a pretty enthralling one so far. Shane Wells actually was the winner last time out at Monza in the AM class. So both championship leaders at the minute do have 2 wins to their credit so far.
Shane Wells goes well. There it is. I was going to say he needs to put a banker lap in at the moment with time running down, and he certainly does. So he'll shoot himself up to 4th place currently at the moment in the AMs.
That's a pretty good going there. Mike Walters, in the meantime, jumps up to 13th. Andy White in the Audi jumps up to 4th as we head into the final 30 seconds. Daniel Paul looking to improve. Harry Gaylor looking to improve. There's quite a few drivers out on circuit at the moment. Michael Gray has a slight off track as he's trying to push that C8 Corvette from Full Tilt Motorsport And is he going to go any better in this particular occasion? Harry 7 gets dropped to 10th, courtesy of Craig Corish. And Glenn Ablard has pitted. Peter Duke still has pole position. But the key point is, what does the Corvette have in the gas tank at the moment? Because the checkered is out for the session. Harry Hartley-Price, new livery from the... Well, I was around for Sebring and Imola. Unfortunately, unable to be around for last time out at Monza. But Harry Hartley-Price, oh, he was 1/1000th outside of the top 5. Here comes Mark Wesley in the Vodafone Chrome livery.
Oh, yeah. That's the old
Lewis
Lewis Hamilton and Alonso.
Well, Lewis Hamilton, Alonso, Jenson Button, Heikki Kovalainen,
That's right.
Sergio Perez. Quite a few drivers use that livery. We've got James Moore currently down in 19th spot. Tim Reed of the BMW goes up to 5th on his final attempt. So the last few drivers coming through try and get their last lap in before the session times out. Michael Gray is about 70% of the way through the lap in the number 118 Chevy Corvette. As here goes Michael Gray. He's on his way through into Hudson-Bachborgen at 5th gear. That's going to be north of 130 miles an hour, up to 6th. It's going to be hard on the brakes. So at the moment, Michael Gray's personal best only in sector number 3. Oh, he has to correct a massive moment, and that is the lap done and dusted. He is not going to get a 4th pole in the road at all.
You know, they're not going to get that repaired in time, Mr. Michael. Then that's it. We were going through how we want to keep this iRacing as realistic simulator as possible. If you ding your car out during the qualifying session with, only about 30 seconds for them to fix that car up, you're going to be out of the race. What castle is that, by the way?
That is a very good question.
Something Alex doesn't know? I got you. I think it's only Craig at that track at the moment too, my friend.
No, that is the... I thought it might have been. It is the Nurburgring Castle. What is Craig Corish doing pointing the wrong way down the... He was waiting to go to the famous Piston Klaus restaurant where he can have his schnitzel. But Peter Duke steals the show and takes pole position for the 4th round of this season, ending the streak of the C8 Corvette of Full Tilt Motorsports. Michael Gray, Harry Gaylor's going to be on the inside of row number 2 with Jean McLuhan alongside with Tim Reed, Andy White, Harry Hartley-Price, Jared Love, Sam Berry, Craig Corish. Mike Walters is the fastest driver in the AM class in the Acura, finishing 13th. So good job by him. And with that being said, we're due to have 27 cars on the grid as we go over to the next session. So it's 45 minutes. It's going to be a rolling start. Let's take you through the starting grid for round 4 of season 7 of the Galebest and Clark St. James GT3 series. Peter Duke and Michael Gray will line up on the front row of the grid. Then it's Harry Gaylor and John McLuhan, row 2. Tim Reed, Andy White, row 3. Row 4, Harry Hartley-Price and Jared Love. Sam Berry and Craig Corish, row 5. And then row 6, Harry 7 and Glenn Ablard. Mike Walters takes Ann Pole in 13th. He'll be joined by the 130 Mustang of Stephen Donnelly. Joe Sparrow and Sean Clark will round out row 8. Good work there by Sean in the number 68 McLaren. Tim Cullimore and Daniel Paul are up next. And then the last 2 cars in the top 20, James Moore and Shane Wells. Rob McKee, Chris Haynes, Connor Pink, Sergio Cabral, Mark Wesley, Paul West, Callum Milam are due to start at the back end of the grid. It doesn't look like we are going to have Scott McFall joining us. The only person that does not have a higher rating than everybody else, so he has ended up deciding not to take part, which for him is a good thing. I think for probably everyone else it would have been a bad thing. But we have got the Ford Mustang pace car. We're going to start just outside of Bitcover and Biggles. It's a 45-minute race. The drivers will have to make a mandatory pit stop, but they've got to be very, very careful. Of course, tyres are going to last the distance. but they have to make sure that they uncheck that tyre box before they go in the pit lane.
Yeah, it cost them the extra time. But, 45 minutes to these drivers maybe that have contributed to the endurance race will be a cakewalk for them. I would like to see, we're waiting for Michael Gray. Hopefully he'll load himself in right there on the front row. It's very important for Gray after that qualifying performance to make sure he gets it. It's a pity Scotty's not going to be here, my friend. I would like to see Scotty do a last to first challenge. Even though he's not in the championship as well, too, just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, we have got a couple of people that haven't been able to make it tonight. Matt Hoyland, I'm sitting this one out after spending what seemed like forever racing at the N24.
That's what I thought,
Mark
yeah.
Kent, PC issues tonight. But there you see 18 degrees centigrade, cloudy, track temperature 19 degrees, 9:25 in the morning as we are under starters orders as the drivers will make their way through the chicane. Before we head through into Coca-Cola corner at turn number 15, and then it will be into the 2x2 rolling start formation. Pace car in pit lane. We're about to get things underway for round 4, season 7. Galebest and Clark St. James, Tanso Racing Group action, and it's down to Peter Duke. He's already bolted, he's already gone, and Harry Gaylord closing in on Michael Gray as we go green at the green hell here in Germany. And a great start by Peter Duke, but Michael Gray switching to the outside. And he's going to try through the first part of the circuit, but Harry Gaylord nearly gets the jump on him, going through into the Mercedes arena. A few drivers taking a little bit tentatively through. Mark Kent in chat saying, here watching those chaps, haven't had a chance to reinstall the sim yet, sadly. No, fair enough, Mark. I mean, hope we'll see you, I'm very sure, next week at Spa-Francorchamps. But now the battle for the race lead really heating up as they go into turn 5, down the dip into Ford here at the right-hander at 6. Michael Gray trying everything in the playbook. Peter Duke making the back of that Honda, or that Acura NSX GT3 as wide as humanly possible. But the Chevy might have a little bit of a run here going through turn 7 at Dunlop. Michael Gray nearly touching the rear bumper of Peter Duke as they now go up the hill, and look at the legs of the rampant pull from Sant'Agata Bolognese in the hands of Harry Gaylord. It's 3 for the lead here, Dean, and it's very quickly kicked off.
And he's got his teammate behind him as well, too, of Harry here. So it's full tilt versus the DC Motorsport entry up the road there. So fantastic battle, the top 3, as they're trying to get themselves a little bit further down the road there from John. And that's the current situation at the moment. No, so far so good. Just Daniel Poole had gone off the track, it looks like, a little bit earlier, but he's still back there in P25.
Oh, we just had Jordan Crawford has just gone. Jordan's gone, what? Did I just miss the session? Yes. 8:15. He sort of, well, he said, I thought it was at 9. Well, Jordan, we'll see you next week, my good friend. It can sometimes happen, but after the opening lap, Peter Duke is leading. At the moment, Mike Walters is leading in Amst. He's lost a couple of places, but again, you can just see the amount of cars roaring down that start-finish stretch. As look at the amount of curbing that Peter Duke taking through Castrol-S. Now into the Mercedes arena, he is going ultra defensive. He knows that Michael Gray, who's already got 2 wins so far this season, he's going to make sure that Michael does not get a 3rd win, because at the end of it, Peter, who's currently down in 17th in the standings, has only gained 15 points this campaign, and that is going to be quite crucial. It's 40 points for a race victory, but you can see here James Moore not shy of getting his elbows out, and he's battling away with one of the boss men, and that is Sean Clark. Now diving to the inside, the Corvette gets through on the Acura. It was going to be a case of not if, but when. And Michael Gray strikes with a late lunge up the inside of Dunlop on Peter Duke to take away that race lead. But now Michael Gray becomes the hunted. He's got Duke, Gaylord, McLuhan and White. It's 5 cars battling for the race lead at this early stage, Dean. Anything can happen.
Oh, yeah, Harry had hit the anchors there at the moment. Otherwise, he would have been straight in the back of the DC Motorsport entrance. Looks like Tim Reed has gone around somewhere. He has for the HB Racing. He's off into the kitty litter a little bit after the BMW. As
he's taking out the PRS board.
He's going to get back onto the track there and try to clean off all that kitty litter that's on his tyres there, and hopefully not. He's still in this race, of course. Early days to try to fight your way back up to the field there, but let's have a look quickly what happened to old Timster.
Right, he's got a Porsche behind him as well. Now,
lost on the entry.
I think that... Oh, he lost it on his own. Oh, he turned it in, back end stepped out, went no. A bit like a computer can say at a time, but we're riding on board with Mr. Fresh Rubber himself, Sam Berry, battling away with the McLaren, the number 123 of Harry Severs, a 7 at the moment, who's got Jared Love. Jared's made up a couple of places. He's battling away with the 2 warring Porsches. As here we go. Harry Gaylord round the outside. Oh my goodness me, that was coming out of turn 4. Around the outside, Harry Gaylord with the move of the season. Round the outside of Peter Duke. Peter Duke had no response. And there's Andy White waiting to pick up the pieces. There's Jean McLuhan. Oh, drama for Jared Love in the Mustang. Oh, that's another one. Now, was that assisted? So that is that's going to be an interesting one there, Dean.
Sergio has also crashed as well too, but this is probably the reason why we're going to see
Harry 7 into the back of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harry 7 into the back, I think. Yeah, it was. So, yeah, that's a real shame for Jared Love. Welsh Boy 2012 says, what a move from Harry. Yes, it nearly made me jump out of my seat. But there's Sergio Cabral, the teammate of James Moore, who's now up into 16th position. Meantime, Peter Duke is starting to slightly hemorrhage a place here or there, but we are only just nearly 6 minutes into this race, folks, so still plenty of time to go. They've still got to do that pit stop, and at this point here, Dean, it's everyone for themselves in this early foray before the pit stop phases take place.
And if you do, you're going to find yourself some nice gap out there. As you can see, everybody's bunched up on the track map there. So if you can get any pit stops set, you want to get yourself nice quiet air there and just put down your banker qualifying lap after qualifying lap after qualifying lap. As Andy White for the HB Racing entry is going to try to bank his way past Peter Duke, who's already down 2 places at the moment. Is he just nursing the car, nursing the tyres, playing an alternative strategy? Only Peter Duke knows.
I think the thing is, normally a set of tyres on a GT3 car before like a proper pit stop would be about an hour and 10 minutes. Whereas with it being a 45-minute race, they still will have. There you see the split between Pro and Am. So Michael Gray leading now from Harry Gaylord by about 2.7 seconds. Mike Walters leading the Am ahead of Sean Clark, who's now 2.8 seconds behind, as we still carry on with this battle. This wonderful battle that's going to bring in, I think very shortly, Harry Hartley-Price. But there you see Craig Corish competing with Joe Sparrow and Sam Berry. Joe, you don't want to start kicking up dust into or gravel into people. I mean, I was at the Nankang Tyre BRSCC summer race meeting. There's good old Lexi. We're on. That's Tim Reed coming back. I think that's Chris Haynes, who actually ran the same car, same livery last season. We've also got the number 99. That's Shane Wells, who took the win at Monza last time out. Wells now currently in P5. Round the outside, Rob McKee. Or no, that was Connor Pink trying to go around the outside of Rob McKee here. And that's going to be a hard thing to do, but it's going to give the inside line for Connor Pink into the Vidal chicane. It's time for the smug face, it says on the left-hand side of a 03 McLaren. Oh, that's brilliant. Sophie, did you put... Sophie, his other half, I'm just wondering if Sophie put him up to this. But, yeah, great move there by Connor Pink to take 14th away in the Pro class from Rob McKee. Jared Love and Tim Reed have both tumbled down the order significantly, as there's this run of cars coming down into the Castrol S, originally known as Algarcan. Shane Wells. That didn't go too that didn't go really too great for the number 19. I was trying to avoid a pun there, Dean, to be honest with you. I'm not going to say it. But in the meantime, Harry Hartley-Price has gotten on with business and he's closed that gap. It was 9/10 to Andy White. It's now 4/10.
Yeah, he's taking care of business, like the song, as well. But, he's currently, as you can see, HHP, and it's not a law firm. On the back there of Andy White and Peter Duke, sorry.
Yeah, an HB. Yeah, no reference to a pencil there at all.
Oh, yeah, just got that.
There you go. Yeah, like I was saying with regards to Donington Park, Will Blackwell Chambers, you get a shout out here. Mazda MX-5, it was the Clapham North Mazda MX-5 Super Cup Championship. He went off at Redgate, and then someone else went off at Redgate and threw a big amount of gravel into Will's windscreen. And I did the pit lane interviews afterwards, and he said, yeah, I couldn't really see out of that after Redgate. I said, well, you did get the... He said, I wonder who got faster than that. I went, you did. And he went, oh, even with that windscreen? I went, yep. Chris Hayes.
Christopher, don't back up. Bang!
Aye! And that was Mark Wesley straight into the side of him. That McLaren is very second-hand, let's say. And Chris Haynes, is that going to be a little bit of... yeah, that was a big old hit. We're going to see it on the replay on board with the 88 McLaren.
Where do you go?
There's
Left,
Chris
right,
spinning.
left, right.
Mark's got nowhere to go.
Middle.
Oi, 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 oi.
And this is what happened to Christopher. I wonder if he had contact.
It's going to be tough to...
Yeah.
Oh, it hasn't gone well for Shane Wells on that part then.
And
there's the pun. I said
Children,
it kindly.
look away. They're in pit road too at the moment. But this is where it's getting a little spicy and dicey at the moment. Now you got Gene.
Jean McLuhan. Jean McLuhan going up the inside, or trying to go up the inside of Andy White. Harry Hartley-Price is now through. So in pit lane, we've got Jared Lover's gone in, Shane Wells has gone in, Chris Haynes still in there. Mark Wesley has been in there for nearly a minute.
Do you like that little
Paz Racing?
Jet fuel only? I don't know if you want to be putting jet fuel in that.
Oi, oi, oi. Squeeze. Code Brown, clean up on aisle 3. Yeah, Jean McLuhan, jet fuel only. Have you got an afterburner in that thing, Jean? Have you pressed the NOS button yet?
I'll have to get it scrutineered.
yeah. That won't pass technical, mate. But Jean McLuhan's got Harry 7, who had that slight tangle with Jared Lover a little bit earlier on. But Michael Gray expanding that lead to now what is 4.6 seconds as we're about to complete lap number 6 of this race.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate for Jared Love as well too, isn't it? Just haven't been having the day here for the Scotsman. It's just had another mistake as well too, here on lap 5. Oh, that was... trying to... Not his fault, actually. It was just trying to avoid that contact, wasn't he? And that's it was a little scary moment. Let's have a look.
Yeah, so we look. So he's actually going to pull to the left-hand side of Chris Haynes to avoid.
There.
Chris Haynes' car rolls back and it takes out the rear wing.
Bang.
And also the right side of the car. So, yeah, well... Ridgeway Racing leading forward helps acceleration out of corners. Yes, in karting I would agree with you, but not in sim racing. But well said. Well said, Ridgeway Racing.
Robert Ridgeway,
I have to say, yeah, Ridgeway Racing. Leaning forward helps acceleration out of corners. Yeah, when you're jumping up and down in your seat in a rental car that won't go any faster. That's from personal experience. Here we are on board with the recovering HB Racing's Tim Reed in the 155, another Scotsman on the grid. He's now going after Rob McKee, and this is going to be the run down into the left-hander at turn 5, and then we've got the run down to right-hander here at Ford. A little bit of a battle up ahead. That is Connor Pink versus James Moore. Connor Pink round to the outside through the slight parabolica into turn 7 at Dunlop, and Connor Pink's going to get the move. What? How on hell's God's green earth did you get that through there, Tim Reed? He literally just waited and just said to Rob McKee, said, "Hey, look, Mum, late braking." Just got through. And
his windscreen wiper's a little loosey-goosey on that one too, as you can see.
Yeah,
It's flapping away in the wind.
Yeah, I mean that's a normal trait anyway of these cars that have these centrally positioned windscreen wiper blades. If you lose Eileen tracker, then in the sim it works.
Oh, just take the escape road. Glenn, that'll be a slowdown.
Yeah, Glenn Ablard. That is not going to be a good one there for the 127. So where did Glenn qualify? 12th. So that is now going to put him behind Tim Cullimore and also Mike Walters. At the moment, well, Peter Duke's still holding on to that third place. He's actually managed to get away from Harry Hartley-Price to the tune of about 2.5 seconds. So Mark Wesley has returned on track and is over a lap down off the leader, who's in pit lane for just under 2 minutes. Here we are running on board with Andy White in the number 86. He's closing in on Harry Hartley-Price, the gap between them 4/10 of a second. So two of the cars from the Volkswagen concern, or consortium if you want to put it that way, Porsche versus Audi. Sounds like Le Mans all over again, doesn't it? Back in the day with it really does. Back in the day with the Audi R18 e-tron Quattro and the Porsche 919 Hybrid, whereas this time we've got the 911 GT3R versus the car that was is still used in GT3 racing. It's the most successful GT3 racing car of all time, the Audi R8 LMS, and you can just see that. Yes, you've got two very different schools of thought. Mid-engined, 5.2 litre naturally aspirated V10. And then you've got the rear-engined, 4 litre flat 6 boxer engine. Back of that rear-wheel drive Porsche. For the Ridgeway Racing saying, lovely broadcast, keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Ridgeway Racing. Walters, WDF2, I wonder who's leading AMS. Mike Walters is leading AMS. Oh. Yep,
he's got Tim on his back, but he doesn't need to hold it. He can let Tim through. He can afford to let Tim through, but the only problem he can't afford to let through, of course, is the boss man, Sean Clark, who's next down the road there.
Yep. Well, he's also got Glenn Ablard as well. As we're not that far away, folks. From about the 20-minute mark being completed. We've got 28 minutes and 40 to go. But some great battles up and down the order. This is one of the good things about having different class structures. Oh, bit of a wobble there from front end of Tim Reed as he was right with James Moore, who's still got Connor Pink in front of him at the moment. Now, bearing in mind, the battle between Pink and Moore is not a battle for class position. Yes, it's a battle for track position, but Connor Pink with the original trio from Top Gear and the Grand Tour. This is Clarkson, Hammond and May, aka Captain Slow. Someone's been kicking up the gravel coming out of Ford at turn 6. So, yes indeed. So, that is the case. Yeah, I was wondering where you are, Mr. Tim Walters, because you're not on the grid tonight. You said, my Son of a Bro Racing teammates. So Mike is the only one out of the Son of a Bro Racing crew that are actually here. As I said, it's 8 race calendar, 7 scores go towards their best score. As here goes Tim Reed up the inside, just teed that up nicely. But Mr. Moore is not letting that slide, even though he might be a pro driver behind him. But that just goes to show that we saw this with Jared Love. Jared Love, in comparison with James Moore last season.
Just let's roll through.
Rob McKee just saw a window of opportunity. He just went, hello, dive bomb. And that can happen. But Rob McKee is that... that's going to give an opportunity back to Tim Reed to close up on him. Going down the start-finish straight into turns 1 and 2. Can do if you pretty close behind the car in front, you can make a really, really late old dive. Had a wedding anniversary dinner, 42 years. Many
Wow.
congratulations, Tim. Many congratulations, my good man. So, well, hopefully we'll see you next week for Spa on the 16th of June. Meantime,
Yeah, if you're
Joe
racing on your
Sparrow,
wedding anniversary, you'd be you'll be sleeping on the sofa, my friend.
well, you'll be sleeping in the doghouse.
Doghouse, yes, exactly.
Right, okay, so we have got the Haribo Mustangs briefly for just a moment there. Joe Sparrow and Stephen Donnelly, they have got a Porsche meet in the middle of the Haribo Mustang sandwich in the form of Craig Corish. Meantime, Andy White getting a good run here on Harry Hartley Price. So they will now head through into Bidcover, and then it's going to be accelerating and then full throttle. Fourth gear for the Audi of Andy White, now fifth. And see a little bump on the curb there, fifth gear. And Baz Racing, I still have no internet, gutted. It's a real shame, Baz. Hopefully that gets sorted out sooner rather than later. And now it's bringing Jean McLuhan. Oh dear. Andy White has become the proverbial Ingolstadt meat in the Weissach sandwich, as he's got a Porsche in front and a Porsche behind, courtesy of Harry Hartley Price and John McLuhan, as they thunder their way down the start-finish straight. They run on board with the HB racing car of Harry Hartley Price, as they all bump their way through the curbing at the Castrol S, turns 1 and 2. But Hartley Price just making sure that Porsche's back end, as if it wasn't wide enough anyway, even wider than it should be.
You want to make it as wide as possible, don't you? You gotta get out there and eat some candy and widen it up a little bit more if you can. Make it difficult, of course. It seems to be very, very difficult at the moment for a lot of drivers to get the overtake done. It's not like you're watching a Formula 1 Monaco GP. There is overtakes going on out there at the moment. It's not as easy as it looks. You've got to time it up pretty perfect around here in Nuremberg. And Tim Breed still hasn't managed to get past Rob now. Well, Rob got past him, so that's so much struggle it's been, isn't it? And the different pace that you've got between the drivers.
I think, when you get to the next circuits that we'll have, Spa, Daytona Road Course, Brands and Fuji, you are going to have plenty of places to overtake. But here at the Nurburgring, it is a bit more strategic. But I think also the fact that you've got to think about, okay, right, how much am I going to fill this car up to out of the 50% I'm allowed? Shall I go 40%? Shall I go that little bit earlier in the pit lane? But I mean, with Michael Gray, he is 8.3 seconds up the road from Harry Gaylord. They're both with the Full Tilt Motorsports crew. So then you've got Peter Duke from DC Motorsport, Harry Hartley Price for HB Racing, then Andy White for HB Racing, Jean McLuhan just behind in the Porsche. So this is a three-way scrap over fourth place. Mike Walters at the moment now up to 12th position. Mike started 13th, took AM Class pole, the 15-minute open qualifying session earlier on this evening. Sean Clark and James Moore at the moment round out the top three in the AMs. So we ride back on board, and it's another car from HB Racing, Jean McLuhan. So the gap between Hartley Price, White and McLuhan at the moment is around about 1.1 seconds. So sometimes you see that one driver will make things a little bit easier on themselves, as James Moore, the AM Championship leader, pulls into pit lane at the halfway point of this race. We have hit half time, 22.5 minutes completed, 22.5 minutes to go. Sam Berry now has gotten through on Stephen Donnelly and Craig Corish. So another Mustang enters the fray, the man that likes his fresh rubber, and he's going after the Candy Store King in front, Joe Sparrow, the Haribo liveried Ford Mustang. And this is a great little onboard here from the right-hand side of Joe Sparrow, 131, the JSD Racing team, as they go up the hill again through towards RTL as they make their way. Oh, another kick up of gravel. Joe Sparrow really flirting with the kitty litter indeed.
Yeah, the Candyman can, my friend, because he mixes it with kitty litter and makes the cars stay away. There you go. That's that four-way battle.
I like that play on words there. I like that play on words.
Because he mixes it with gravel. Yeah, there you go. It makes the car stay away.
Cars go away.
Car go away, yep. 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th you're seeing currently at the moment on your pictures. All in the Pro class.
So, James Moore was in the pits for 21.8 seconds. As diving to the inside of Craig Corish goes Stephen Donnelly. Sparrow again trying to make the car stay away with the gravel kick up. And Stephen Donnelly with that 5.4 litre V8 should have the legs, and under braking is going to dive to the inside. Be careful of Sam Berry in front, and Donnelly gets through. That's another Mustang through on Craig Corish, and a little, not too far behind in the background a shot. Nice to see the blue with white racing stripes adorned Mustang of Tim Cullimore in the number 42. And there is Craig Corish's HB Racing Porsche, looking resplendent in its blue livery, but now he's going to start fighting back at Stephen Donnelly as we head very quickly in towards the final 20 minutes of this fourth round of the championship season, which will bring us halfway through the Galebest and Clark St James GT3 Season 7 in association with Tanso Racing Group. So some great battles up and down the order, and this is the closest one at the minute. Mike Waters closing in on Tim Cullimore for 12th position on the road. Connor Pink closing in on Sean Clark, and that is for 14th overall. We're right on board on the roof cam of the 129 of Mr. Fresh Rubber. Sam Berry closing in once again on Joe Sparrow. This has been really nip and tuck at the moment. It's all going to come down to the pit stops here, Dean, really. Yeah,
so you're going to be getting your pit stops absolutely perfect, so maybe perhaps you can make a jump. You see a couple of drivers have made their pit stops. Glenn down there in P20th place there. Jared Love has, James Moore, Shane Wells and Christopher Haynes. So those drivers at the bottom of the list there. So there's two retirements there of Mark Wesley, and Scotty didn't start the race. There's a pit stop in the background you can see right now. Looks like, where's that heading in?
That is going to be Donnelly and Corish.
Yes.
Both going in at the same time. So Glenn Ablard was in the pits for 13.5 seconds. As Berry trying to go one way, then the other. As Mike Walters now finds himself in the AM class lead in 10th position overall. Joe Sparrow got a little bit of a tank slapper on there going through the first part of the circuit of the Castrol S's. It nearly caused him a little bit of strife there for JSD Racing Team Mustang. 10 seconds on his marks in the pit lane. Rob McKee at 11 seconds. Sergio Cabral now in. He's yet to stop on his marks. So, yeah, Jared Love came in on lap 5, obviously, to repair the damage. So he's still got another pit stop to facilitate before the end of the race. And, yes, even I knew that, Tim Walters. Anorak fact, Haribo is derived from the name and location of the inventor, Hans Riegel Bonn. Hans Riegel is the inventor, Bonn is the name of the location.
Oh.
And funnily enough, I drove up from Nuremberg to Genk one time, and I nearly made a stop at the Haribo headquarters in Bonn in Germany, but I didn't because it was a 6.5, 7 hour drive, and I had a race meeting to get to. Shame.
Well, you can and again in the future. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, well, that depends if I do any road trips. You never know. You never know. But here we go with the move. This is going to be Connor Pink on Sean Clark into the Vidal chicane. And, well, Sean Clark does the right thing. Goes, I do not want to have any dramas. Joe Sparrow now in the pit lane. Drops from 8th. Releases Mr. Fresh Rubber Sam Berry. Getting closer and closer.
Yeah, you imagine that, let team read through as well too, because there's different class drivers, so you don't want to put up, and perhaps risk yourself in an incident with those drivers, because Sean Clark just needs to try to hunt down Mike Waters up the road. Walters.
Yeah.
Apologies.
Yeah, well, it depends on whether Sean Clark is going to go for a very, very long pit strategy. Joe Sparrow now fires the Mustang out of pit lane. Comes out right in front of Stephen Donnelly and Craig Corish. And
he's lucky he cleared them.
Really yeah, very lucky. But I think also the fact that Craig Corish was lucky he didn't go into the right rear fender of Stephen Donnelly, because that Porsche is really starting to hook up nicely. Glenn Abelard gets through on Paul West. So, highest positioned driver that we've had jump into pit lane, Joe Sparrow. And that was on lap number 14. We're on lap 15 at the moment, so expect a few more drivers opting to duck into pit lane. You can only do so much fuel saving.
I just wondering if there's any team orders between them, as Connor Pink is trying to hold off Tim Reed at the moment. He's charging his way back through the field. 7 positions down too currently for the HB Racing Scotsman.
And he's
Damage
flying
limitations. Harry's in from P2.
Yeah, so the Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo goes into pit lane, releases Peter Duke back up to second, Hartley Price, White down through, McLuhan, 7 will also go through. They've yet to pit. Harry Gaylord now taking on board some well-needed fuel for that Lamborghini. And 11, 12, 13.32 seconds was Harry Gaylord. Mike Walters now pits from the AM Class lead. Connor Pink now pits. Oh, the two Haribo Mustangs nearly have a tangle. Oh dear.
Any team orders that they play with these two? I think so. They're going to have to do something here, because if they're anything, they're going to help Craig here as they fight.
Craig Corish just going to get... Yeah, Craig Corish. Is he going to go to the right? There is an opportunity to make this 3 wide.
Go to the middle.
Don't you dare try and poke it through the middle there, Mr.
Craig.
Corish. Oh dear, that would have been absolutely hilarious if he'd done that and gone, hello guys, remember me? Well, he's going around the outside of Joe Sparrow though. That's brave through the Mercedes arena at the moment. So through into turn 3, that will give him the, if he keeps that line, well, he had to back out of it because he can see the 2 Mustangs in front battling away. Through into 4, Corish on the curbs. Sparrow runs a little bit wide out of the corner whilst accelerating. And this could give the opportunity to Craig Corish as they go into 5. And at that point, well, Craig Corish decides, I'm not going to chance it at the moment because, well, you think of it from this perspective, as Michael Gray pits from the race lead in the 118 Full Tilt Motorsport Chevy Corvette. So we could see an influx here on lap 17, or lap 16 thereof, of drivers coming in. Peter Duke yet to come into pit lane. Neither has Harry Hartley Price. Neither has anyone, including White,
Dukes has come in. They're coming.
Berry, and now here we go. There's going to be a mass influx of drivers coming in. 7 comes in. What about Berry? So Gray has already been and gone.
Looks like Berry has as well.
Yeah, Berry has come in. You're right on that point. John McLuhan's pit lane
Harry?
spot.
No.
And they're all coming in. Cullimore, Sam Berry. What about Tim Reed? Tim Reed, yes, he's in. Sean Clark is in. And that's going to be the only person that hasn't pitted yet is, well, officially, Jared Love, Shane Wells, Callum Milam is yet to pit down in 23rd. Chris Haynes is the last one. Mark Wesley we lost, unfortunately, on lap 9. So Harry Gaylord comes out and he's 16 seconds behind. Got 12 minutes to go, and still Craig Corish is battling away with the 2 Haribo Mustangs. Another interesting point here from Tim Walters. We lived in Bonn for 12 years. When the wind was right, we could smell the gummy bears 6 kilometres away.
Wow, okay.
Best yet, the Nurburgring was only 40 minutes away. But look at the run that Craig Corish has now got. He's going to dive to the inside. This could be very, very close. But is he going to throw it to the outside? No, he decides better of it. He does not want to try and go risk versus reward. I mean, yeah, you could risk it for the biscuit, but if you risk it too hard, you might end up in the side of somebody. I mean, let's just not forget what happened with Mark Wesley and Chris Haynes earlier on today, which was a big old hit between the pair.
That's a send.
And up
That's
the inside.
Oh,
There's a little bit of contact between the pair, but they just about get away with it. Oh, Craig Corish, you naughty little boy.
well, at some points there's a little frustration maybe creeping into the driver, because the fact that he's getting a little impatient there, and he's trying his absolute best to try to find any gap, if gap car, and Joe shut the door on that one. If there was anything, I'd be,
yes, I remember that one, if gap car.
Yes. At the moment too, our race leader Michael Gray has built a nice 16-second gap over Harry, who did the undercut by 1 lap earlier on that pit stop there for Hazu.
Yeah, he did.
In P2, so that hasn't quite paid off for him, unfortunately. Michael Gray, his teammate, will be up the road. A very difficult task to try to shake down 16 seconds in this track in 10 minutes, mate.
Oh, Joe Sparrow coming out of the final corner was a bit wayward there. Backhand stepping out to the left-hand side. And again, he was using that to make the cars go away tactic with the kitty litter.
Yes, I was going to say, yeah. Make him use another tear-off visor. Even though he don't have them on these cars.
Yeah, back in the pit lane. Oh, what's happened, Craig? Oh, windscreen's pebble dashed again. Who was it? It was Joe. He keeps on going through the gravel. Fool. Why? Because he wants to keep the cars away.
The only problem with that, of course, is that every single time doing that too, you're risking yourself pushing the track limits a little bit too far, and then all of a sudden, you get a slowdown penalty. As Tim and Tim show, and that's not a law firm. That's the Tanso Racing Group entrance.
Yeah, so Tim Reed makes it through on Tim Cullimore. Mike Walters still leading in the AM class in 13th. Sean Clark and Daniel Paul in 19th and 20th round out the top 3 in the AMs. James Moore's got to find about 2 seconds in the next 9 and a bit minutes or so to try and close in for a 3rd place. So looking back at the results so far with regards to the Tanso Racing Group, in terms I think it's mainly in the fact that Michael Gray has had a win, has had 2 wins, and then you look at the way things have been at the moment. I mean, in terms of the standings, Michael Gray has had 2 wins. Harry Gaylor has had a win. So Michael Gray looking at 3 out of 4. James Moore has had 2 wins. Shane Wells, and we could be looking at our 3rd different winner so far this season in the AM class with Mike Walters. And that will really help him in the championship. That will put him to 96 points. So
for it.
He's going to go for the move. Up the inside goes Shane Wells.
Yep.
And
job done. Yeah, once you stick your nose in there and you're that far committed, you then basically end up blocking the track. It's very difficult for anybody else to try to come back around the outside on that one. So that's it. But then you're going to leave yourself vulnerable here. He's just got a slow down, it looked like. But he didn't cut the chicane, I saw, but he's had to lift off big time.
I'm just going to have a quick look through what happened. He dived to the inside. He didn't clip the curbing. He didn't do any track limit things there at all, unless it might have been enforced from earlier on in the lap. You just don't know. So
Craig, I love that. He's really just trying to. He's going to be doing everything he can in the dying stage of this race here to get past old Joe up the road. Joe just has to park that car in the right place. Just veer off the racing line just a little bit, force him around the outside, make it difficult to overtake, which it is. A sign of a good driver, of course, is you don't see in the highlight reels, but how good that they are defending off an attack that's coming at you tooth and nail throughout the majority of a race, and that's once again a good sign. And how long can you hold that pressure for? Going to feel like David Bowie in Queen, isn't he?
Under pressure, that classic tune, that Very, very classic tune indeed. But yeah, it is a case of now we've got Jared Love and Connor Pink. Now they were battling each other in the AMS last season. And where is Jared going to park that Mustang? He tried for the outside into the chicane. Connor went, aha, loser, in the words of Jeremy Clarkson. And then Jared goes and shoves it up the inside through the final corner. Connor still says, loser. You know, with like Clarkson when he puts the big L on his forehead.
It's like an IndyCar trying to break the slipstream here as well, too, down the main straightaway.
True, very, very true indeed. We are
it's
now down to Jared Love and the send and a half from the Scotsman. Did he make it through?
Yeah,
yes,
no,
he did.
yes,
he
did.
didn't.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
It was like yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, no.
Fake news.
Fake here, clickbait.
Well,
but Craig Corish, no matter how many times Joe Sparrow has had a little bit of wiggle, and he's had a major wiggle now, here goes Corish. He's now got the inside line for turn 7. And he's just nosed ahead. Sparrow late on the brakes. Corish tights the apex, and through he goes. It's only a matter of time. It's going to be it. It was not going to be if, it was going to be when. As you rightly said, Joe Sparrow making so many mistakes, and it was just an invitation for Craig Corish to get through. But you can see the legs on the Mustang. Joe Sparrow coming straight back at Craig Corish. So this is for the final position in the top 10.
Just want to see what happened to Tim here earlier as well. Tim Cullimore has a little bit of a mistake. I think he gets out into the... Yeah, there it is. It gets out to the marbles, essentially, at that point, isn't it? And has a little half spin. And that dropped him to P15. Still 2 places up from where he originally started this race.
Yeah, and once again, it's ding-ding, seconds out, round 2. Jared Love versus Connor Pink. And
it's not NASCAR, mate, but go for it.
Giggity, giggity, giggity. Up the inside. That was... Now... Now we know that Jared Love is aggressive, but look at Connor Pink round the outside. Power! That is a brilliant. Connor, you've got to keep that livery for the rest of the season. I demand it. That is the best livery I've seen in a very, very long time. That's actually relevant. And now Jared Love has got Rob McKee on his tailpipes at the moment as we head on to lap 20. But
oh, my friend, about stopping it.
It's like Connor goes, if you can do anything, I whatever you can do, I can do better. As the saying goes. But
it's spinning me right round, baby, right round with that camera. I was trying to keep an eye on the action.
Yeah. That was just absolutely brilliant. And like Connor did a Jared on Jared, and Jared did a Connor on Connor, and said no. You know, so they've both done it. Dive bomb at turn 1. Both of them have tried to get through, got them through initially, and the other person went, goodbye, see you later. TTFN, ta-ta for now. But a great battle between Jared Love and Connor Pink in the last few moments of this race. We're down to the last 3 minutes and 20, so we're going to have, I think, 2 laps to go, as Michael Gray has already started lap 22 of this race. We're running on board with Harry Hartley-Bryce in the number 98 HP racing car. Currently the defending Pro Series champion, but at the moment he is down in 6th. He's hoping to maybe get a little bit closer to that Acura of Peter Duke, who's holding on to that 3rd position in the class at the moment. So 2 laps remain here at the Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit. First used in the latter part of 1984. And measures just around about 3.2 miles, 15 turns in total. We haven't seen Porsche doing Porsche things, but we have seen Harry Hartley-Price being the best of the Porsches, ahead of Jean McLuhan in the sister 199 car. That is now 3.3 seconds adrift. But Michael Gray at the moment has a 20.1 second lead. Joe Sparrow again trying to retake that 10th spot away from Craig Corish, who's saying, no, you don't, sunshine. You've got to bribe me with more tweets. Whether that might be possibly... Now, let's see what this is for. Oh, he's on his marks again, so whether he didn't have enough fuel to get to the end, who knows? He might have topped up with a little bit of fuel when he went in for the pit stop damage, the damage that he suffered in that first moment with Chris Haynes spinning around in the car, rolling backwards. But Harry Hartley-Price is doing everything in his power to close in on Peter Duke.
Yeah, maybe the traffic might help him up the road there, as you can see on your pictures.
I think that's Callum Bynum. Yeah, that's Callum Bynum, I think.
Oh, yeah, moves out of the way completely on the straightaway, so it won't actually help out Harry at the moment in his battle with Peter Duke in the dying stages of this race. It's just, it'll have to be a late send, wouldn't it? But that's a total risk it for the biscuit situation if you want to do that.
Yeah. But at the moment, well, Michael Gray is on the what is the final lap of the race as we continue to watch the battle for a brief moment between Peter Duke and Harry Hartley-Price, right on board with John McLuhan, and then on to number 98 of HB Racing's Harry Hartley-Price. They go down the start-finish straight to start their 23rd and final lap here at the Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit. The Galebest and Clark St James GT3 Season 7 in association with the Tanso Racing Group, and Harry Hartley-Price really starting to hustle that 98 Porsche, but Peter Duke in the mid-engined V6 Acura NSX able to pull away when he needs to, but this time Harry Hartley-Price has really put the brightness on him, trying to put Peter Duke into a false sense of security and throw his way a little bit of a curveball, but at the moment Peter Duke is hanging on to that third spot at the moment. And, well, where is Mike Walters at the moment, more to the point, our AM class leader? Because he has a big old gap over Sean Clark, which is probably the best part of 14 seconds. There he is, the son of a Bro Racing number 84 in the Acura with that lovely orange paint with Mike on the banner over the top. But the time it hits 0, our race leader now hits the Vido Chicana for the final time. One more corner remains. It's going to be 3 wins out of 4 for Full Tilt Motorsport and Michael Gray in the Chevrolet Corvette C8R. He powers out of the fine corner and he's going to be wiggling, flashing the lights. And he crosses the line and he slams into the barriers as part of his celebration. Brilliant stuff. It's going to be another podium, second place for the winner last time out at Monza. Harry Gaylor will make it a Full Tilt Motorsport 1-2 in the Pro classification. We'll have a little bit of a wait. But there is DC Motorsports number 177. Peter Duke. It's going to be a run to the line between him and Hartley-Price. And by 4/10, Peter Duke rounds out the top 3. Let's now see what's going to happen in terms of the AM side of things. It's going to be Mike Walters that very shortly will cross the start-finish line. He's being chased down by Tim Reed at the moment as they go through into the chicane. Tim Reed, very, very cautious there. Slammed on the brakes at the last moment possible. But Mike Walters will become the 3rd different winner in the AM class as he comes out of the final corner, powers the Acura NSX number 84 for Son of a Bro Racing across the line to win in AM.
Solid job. Could be a little photo finish here as well too, my friend.
Connor Pink and Rob McKee, yeah. 85,000 across the line. Sean Clark, well done to the man from Clark St James. He takes P2. And Daniel Poole, well, Dave Morris, your boy did it. He got a P3. James Watt outside of the top 3. But Daniel Poole from Flatline Racing of the 82 takes 3rd place. Paul West, representing the Welsh Dragon, Pride of Wales, comes out of the final corner in the 33 Monster Energy McLaren. It's going to be a run to the line between Shane Wells, and it's not gone great for him. He finishes behind Sergio Cabral as we complete our 4th race out of 8 here, as there's some donuts being made by the Castrol S. There's Andy White, who finishes
there it is.
6th. It's Connor Pink doing some welcome power donuts. But a sight that you would normally see at the Hockenheim Ring for the DTM season finale every single year. But what a race it's been. Michael Gray makes it 3 out of 4. We've got 3 different race winners now, courtesy of Mike Walters, Shane Wells and James Moore. in terms of the AM side of things. We are waiting to see if any drivers are going to join us for any post-race interviews, but I think a lot of people have been doing the 24 hours of the Nurburgring. We are, funny enough, actually going to have some drivers coming in, so let's see if we could... Well, here are your results at the moment. Michael Gray takes the win in overall by nearly 20 seconds ahead of Harry Gaylor. Peter Duke rounds out the top 3 in pro ahead of Harry Hartley-Price, John McLuhan. And then we got Andy White, Harry Seven, Sam Berry, Stephen Donnelly, Craig Corish, Joe Sparrow, Glenn Avlard. Mike Walters picks up the win, the 3rd different AM class winner in the category this season, ahead of Tim Reed, Tim Cullimore, Connor Pink, Jared, Rob McKee, Sean Clark taking 2nd in the AM classification in the HB Racing McLaren. Then after that, Daniel Paul, Flatline Racing rounds out the top 3 in the AMs, ahead of James Moore, Paul West, Sergio Cabral, Jared Love, Shane Wells, Chris Haynes, Callum Miley, Mark Wesley. We lost with 14 laps remaining, tired on lap 9, and Scott McFall, well, did join us in free practice, but did not take part in the qualifying and the race itself. So, with that being said, we're going to start our post-race interview show here for the Galebest and Clark St. James GT3 Season 7 Round 4 here at the Nurburgring. And first of all, we're going to bring in the man that now makes it 3 wins out of 4. Let's bring in Michael Gray. Michael, good evening. Well, good afternoon, wherever you are. A 3rd win out of 4 so far. Congratulations, you made it look easy again.
I wouldn't say easy. Qualifying didn't go well at all. Just too many off tracks. Yes. But yeah, Pete put up quite a good fight up for the first couple of laps, and then I noticed him and Harry started battling. Then I can't remember who he was battling again after that. So I just saw that gap keep growing, and then I just went into, I'll just say, fuel.
Well, that seems to be, always seems to be your game plan. But you know, now it's 3 wins out of 4. That Corvette has been incredibly strong, and an incredibly potent weapon in your hands as well. Let's say.
Yeah, I wasn't that keen on it when I first tried it, and I just thought, because I'd been in the Audi for about 2 years straight in another league, and I just wanted to look at a different dashboard. But yeah, I'm really starting to gel with it, and like I said, I think it's a nice little car to drive anyway.
It's a nice looker with that livery on it as well, to boot.
Yeah, I can't take any credit on the paid. That's all down to Phil, who's on our team.
Next week we go to the Ardennes Forest. So from the Green Hell, we go to the Ardennes and we go to Spa. Are you looking forward to the challenge in the Corvette with that one?
Again, yeah, not a track I've drove that car at before, so yeah, it'll be a challenge, and also getting used to the new tyre model for next week as well. So that should be interesting.
Yes, considering we are in currently week 13 at the moment here on the iRacing schedule for 2025.
Yes.
But Michael, congratulations. 3rd win out of 4 so far. Looking forward to seeing how you get on next week. But well done tonight. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before you let you enjoy the rest of your evening?
Yeah. Thanks to the admins of the league for putting it together. Everyone at Full Tilt Racing and yourselves for doing the broadcast.
Brilliant. Big thank you there to Michael Gray, our 3-time race winner so far, winner at Sebring. Imola, now add the Nurburgring to that one. We're going to now bring in his teammate from Full Tilt Motorsport, the man that picked up the win in an Italian thoroughbred on Italian soil. 2nd here tonight. Let's bring in Harry Gaylor. Harry, good evening. Another podium, another strong performance by Michael. I did manage to watch the race. You did really, really well at Monza, but it was going to be a tough track to pass on here at the Nurburgring.
Sorry, I missed a bit of that. What?
No, that's okay.
Yeah. You cut out my bad. Anyway, yeah, it was good. I knew I wasn't going to get Mike because he's just too quick. I have to be realistic. But I had to get the pass done on Peter to have a clean race at the start. I had to get it done, otherwise I would have been stuck behind him for a while.
But still, you're scoring good, consistent championship points. Of course, we go to Spa, where you're really going to be able to stretch the legs on that Raging Bull, aren't you?
Maybe, but Spa is not my kind of track. I don't really have pace around it, so we'll see what happens. I have surprised myself 1 or 2 times, so who knows? Anything could happen, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you won at Monza, there's always a possibility of another win this season. You never know. But Harry, well done on the second place tonight. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go this evening?
No, all good. Thank you, guys. Have a good evening. Take care.
Brilliant. Big thank you there to Harry Gaylor. Let's bring in the man that put up a stern defence right up until the checkered. And it's Peter Duke who put it on pole, stopping the streak of one Mr. Michael Gray in time qualifying. Peter, good evening.
Evening, Alex. How are you?
Not too bad. Well, you managed to upset the apple cart in qualifying. Let's look at the race from your perspective. I mean, you got a good start. You bolted early, but then it was a case of you had Michael and Harry to contend with. But then the latter phase of the race, we really saw the Acura come alive because that NSX was made as wide as humanly possible. You were saying to Harry Hartley-Price, no way, sunshine, are you getting through for this third place?
Yeah. Oh no, I was chuffed to get pole. Like those first 2 guys are a couple of steps above me. I was just even glad to be in the first 6, but I'll take it, and I'm improving every week now. So, but what I need to improve on is my race on how to save my tires and fuel, because I think what I do is I overdrive the car the first 6 laps, and then the tires spike, and that's where those guys, I've shown qualifying I'm as quick as them, but I just need to do it more consistent. So. But if you had asked me last year, Alex, if I would have been up with Harry, Sean, Andy, and these 2 guys, I would have laughed at you.
Yeah, I think last season, we saw that there were definitely flashes of brilliance and there was a sign of development coming. But now, here in season 7, we see a very different and a more improved, a bit more polished Peter Duke, which I'm really, really pleased to see. And only that can go on from there. Of course, we've got Spa coming up next week. How do you fancy your chances there in the Acura?
I just need to get round Spa. I haven't been round it in a long time. A lot of the guys would probably be doing endurance races and different things, but I just stick to the single leagues. So, but I know where it goes, and I'll give it plenty of time and try and get up front again. So, but it was a great race. Thanks to all the guys for such a good, clean race. So, and thank you guys for a great broadcast.
Brilliant, Peter Duke. Third place. We'll see you next week at Spa for when we go to the second half of the season at round 5.
Okay, thanks.
So big thank you there to DC Motorsports Peter Duke. Let's bring in our third different AM class winner, and from Son of a Bro Racing, that goes to Mike Walters in the 84 Acura. Mike, welcome finally to Victory Lane, buddy. Well done.
Oh my gosh, this is my first. I've only had 1 podium or 1 or 2 podiums in GT3, and this is my first win in GT3. I'm stunned.
Yeah, I mean, Tim was cheering you on in the chat. He said, "Let's see that AM leader for a second." And obviously, him and his good lady having a an anniversary dinner tonight. So many congratulations to them. So that's your sort of like anniversary present to them indirectly, isn't it?
That's right. That's right. I hope he enjoys it. Yeah, that was great. I'm kind of glad that I wasn't getting much coverage, because that would have meant that I was either messing up or getting under a lot of pressure. And I don't handle pressure well in the race, but I didn't have to worry about it too much in this one. And it's great. It's really fun.
I think you're very much speechless at the moment, aren't you? Really? You took pole in the class, and now you go on to win lights out to checkered in the AM class. I think we'll leave it at that. But anyone you want to give a shout out tonight before we let you go and enjoy the rest of your afternoon?
No, thanks, Alex. Pole was a surprise, and then I just tried to hold on. Thanks to Sean for putting on this league. Thanks to you guys for doing the great broadcast, and thanks to my brother Tim for giving me someone every week to practice against and compare notes and stuff. So, thank you guys.
Fantastic, Mike. Well done. We'll see you next week at Spa for round 5.
Okay, thank you. See ya.
So, well done there to Mike Walters. Let's bring in one of the people from Clark St. James and a man who has just claimed second in AM tonight. Sean Clark, welcome to the post-race interview show. How are you doing?
Yeah, very good, Alex. If you could see me now, I've got a very big smile on my face.
You know what? I really was. I think at one point, I think the last time I did commentary, I think it was a couple of weeks ago for Imola. I think you've really, season 6 in the Porsche, you really struggled. But since you swapped into Woking's Finest in the 720, it's really changed for you because you've been a lot more competitive. You've got your elbows out a little bit more. Do you feel that it's helped your progression in terms of GT3 racing?
Yeah, I don't know whether like a change is as good as a rest or whatever the saying is, but I'm running the Porsche in another league, and to be honest, I'm getting better in there. So I think it's natural progression, really. But I do this Macca, the Porsche is good, but the Macca just feels so stable. And I know a lot of people don't find it, but I really do. You can hammer it through that chicane. Felt really comfortable. Just the tyres going off towards the end on just before the pit stop, and then just the last couple of laps. So I had Daniel Paul behind me, and the time was dropping. I think I lost about 2 seconds after the pit stop. But yeah, I love this track anyway. It's I used to race F4 when I first started on iRacing, and this was always a favourite F4 one as well for me. So a bit different in the GT3s though.
Yeah, and that's going to be a nice haul of points for you. Let's not forget, because for those forgetting with regards to the Galebest and Clark St. James Tanso Racing Group GT3 series, what we do is with Pro and Am, they all get the same score in terms of points. So that's going to be a nice little help with regards to where you currently are at the moment. You're 8th on 51 points. Until now, I think you dropped 5 spots after Monza, but now that's going to really catapult you up the order quite a bit. So that's going to put you in a good frame of mind for Spa next week, isn't it?
Definitely. Spa is another favourite track of mine. We had a technical last week, so I couldn't race just before start, which was unfortunate. But there is a drop week in this series, which will come calculated right at the end. So yeah, everyone will drop one. It just depends if I could have a good run in now, stand a good chance, which would be good. But yeah, been a really good race, and Mike was there was no catching Mike. I don't know where he pulled that from. That was brilliant.
Exactly. Well, Sean, congrats on the second place. I think it's your highest ever result, if I remember correctly, in GT3 competition in this championship. But who do you want to give a shout out to before we let you go, buddy?
Just all of the guys for taking part. I just just so pleased how this league has grown and everyone's migrated in. We had 26 cars out there racing tonight, which is absolutely brilliant. We got 30 odd signed up, and it's the biggest turnout we've had so far. So mate, keep going stronger, and thanks for everyone. Without them, wouldn't be a race.
Brilliant. Sean Clark, thank you so much for your time, buddy. Look forward to seeing if you might be able to try and capture your first victory by the end of this season. Not by next week, but I think as there is a goal there, I think you might be able to aim for, my friend.
Brilliant. Thank you. Cheers, Alex.
Big thank you there to Sean Clark. And last but by no means least, our final interviewee of the night, Daniel Paul, third place. the man in the Flatline Racing Porsche, the number 82. Daniel, welcome in. Another strong result for you. It helps you to close the gap a little bit here on James in the AM standings after him finishing, I think it was 4th, a couple of seconds behind you. How are you feeling after a 3rd place finish?
Yeah, I'm grateful, to be honest. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, yeah, we can hear you loud and
Oh, sorry,
clear.
I'm just getting notification. I'm getting notification saying that the mic's not working. No, yeah, I don't know how I finished 3rd in that, because I took it off the track very early in the race, lost concentration, and then just stuck with it. And then it looked like Jamie was fighting hard with some guys, so I thought I'll just keep the pace up, and fortunately managed to jump him in the pits.
Yeah, I think it's a very hard track to pass at as well. We did see a couple of moves. I think we did see one from Harry Gaylor in the pro class, which was one that I've never seen around this circuit at a certain place. But you know, with this particular type of series, 8 rounds with a drop week, it is still all to play for. There's no letting off that throttle pedal, is there?
There's a lot of racing left to do, and I'm looking forward to Spa. It's one of my favourite tracks. Hopefully, I can get a jump on Jamie again. Hopefully.
Brilliant. Well, Dan, thanks so much for talking to us in the post-race interview show.
No problem.
Anyone
It's a
you'd like to
pleasure.
give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to my little brother. He gave me a shout out before the race, so I'll return the favour. Thanks, bud. See you later.
Brilliant. Dan Paul from
Thank you very
Flatline
much.
Racing, 3rd place. We'll see you next week at Spa for round 5, Dan.
Catch you later. Have a good week, boys. Bye-bye.
Well, that concludes our post-race interview show for round 4, season 7 of the Galebest and Clark St James GT3 season with Tanso Racing Group. Biggles, any final words before we close out the show tonight for the folks at home?
That was good. Good, fantastic, clean racing. I mean, literally, my board of the events that occurred didn't even really scroll over to a second page. So that just goes to show there's only a couple of cars that really went off track there. A couple of incidents that we saw, but overall, with a stacked quality grid of drivers that you have, that's brilliant driving for everybody. So a big pat on the back there, and good to see. As you said, first-time winner there from Mike as well, too, who was stoked. I mean, it makes me feel like I want to get a pina colada and sit by the beach with his lovely livery on that car, isn't it? And, of course, Michael getting the trifecta.
There we go. Well, that closes things up here on the JP Broadcasting Network. You've been joined by Alex Goldschmidt and Dean Biggles-Hopton for live coverage of the Galebest and Clark St James GT3 Season 7 in association with Tanso Racing Group. Round 4 at the Nurburgring in 7 days' time. We head to the iconic Ardennes Forest and to the fearsome 7-kilometre, 20-turn Spa-Francorchamps circuit. More action coming up here on the JP Broadcasting Network. If you want to watch more racing, there's Radical SR8 Season 4, Round 4 at Knock Hill. We've got IGP Fun later on this week on Sunday nights. And there's still plenty more racing for you all to enjoy. The NARS Virtual Modern Sports Car Championship, the 1.5 hours of the Glen. We've got the BSC Summer Season Round 3 at Michigan International, FDL Recruit, Race 1 at Okayama, and plenty more to come. So until next time, race hard, race fair, and if in doubt, well, like Michael Gray tonight, you better go flat out. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.